Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Triforce. I'm back here at Valhalla's Ark, Blaque Pauldron.
Yo.
Once again, and this is my last day here. So you know, after this this little talk we're gonna have with you guys, it's about indie gaming. We're gonna be streaming. You guys will catch all that stream stuff on our YouTube page and so forth. But we want to focus on indie gaming and indie development. So first thing I want to kind of open up with is that. As an organization, as a group, you know, the brand Empire Arcade, we've always been focused on doing things that's, you know, indie based, whether it may be cultural, whether it may be in the community, and whether it may be game development. We've worked with a list of people who do indie game development. We're sponsored by an indie company called Daft Temerity. They sponsored one of our events with, you know, the Super Mario Pajama Party.
Yes.
And we've also worked with a game called Citizen X. This is a godlike game. Think of it like a Deus Ex. It's a guy from the present. He uses time to go back and forward in time to face all the conspiracies that's happened in human history.
Wow.
To try to change it to save society from the system,
that's
so
right.
to speak. But it's a godlike. The whole concept is godlike. I even tested the game at one time. So you know, we even played a couple of levels of it. It was ridiculous. It was kind of godlike. And then there's Indie Assault, and Indie Assault is kind of like it's a platforming fighting game that uses elements from all different types of video games. They have Team Supers that's like from like Overwatch, so they're borrowing elements from like first-person shooters, meter management from like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, platforming from like Smash Brothers, and a bunch of stuff. And we've also consulted with them to like, because you know they came to us asking for our take on games and stuff like that. Didn't you test the game with me? And
I did. I tested it with you and Evil Jagan.
Oh, that's okay. So, you know, we're doing so many things, we can almost forget half the stuff that we
I didn't know about that first stuff though. I knew it borrowed stuff from Smash Bros. And Mortal Kombat, but you talked about Overwatch just then. Yeah,
that's something that they just recently added to the game. That they're bringing that over, where they have like team-based supers and stuff like that. And the game also takes you know, characters from other games.
Yeah.
And bring them over and cross them over. Like there's a game, African action adventure RPG called Orion.
Yes.
And the Enzo, the main character, he's going to be in the game. When that game drops, that's the main character. I want to definitely play Enzo.
Excellent. Yes.
I have to play my African brothers out there. I got to represent. So, and he's an original character, so I definitely want to try him out. And yeah, that's right. We did play it. Now it's coming back to me when we were in Kingston at Rion's house and we were playing on the game online and we was testing some of the stuff. So I can't wait to when that game drops. But the point of our conversation is the Nintendo Switch may be the super gateway platform for indie development.
Yes.
And we would like to see some of these games come out on the Nintendo Switch platform, because just the way the Nintendo Switch is designed. I can sit here and hit you guys with the buzzwords, it's intuitive, it's this and that and blah blah blah. Listen, the Switch is just godlike, keep it that simple, and the platform is made for people that make games on, and I definitely would like to see those three games. Well, Daft Temerity is coming out with an action adventure role-playing game. They haven't made any news on it, but they're going to be developing games in the future. So we'll give you guys the heads up on Daft Temerity. But they're not just about making games or developing games. They're also about developing communities and cultures, which is why they sponsored our Super Mario Pajama Party.
Yes, and thank you again.
Oh yeah, definitely thank you guys. But let's get into this now. So. Which game do you want to start with? Citizen X or Indie Assault?
Let's start with Indie Assault, because that's the one I'm familiar with.
Okay, so Indie Assault now, they got a guy from Mutant Football League. Can't tell you who. Yeah, this is an old school Genesis game. So yeah. People don't know about it. It's an old school Genesis game. But so we know about Enzo. We know about the Mutant Football League character.
Yes.
Then they have Crow, the main character from what we played in the demo. Who would you like to see as a character in Indie Assault that has not been used? That's not in like any crossover games like PlayStation All Stars or Super Smash Brothers.
Give me a second. How about like a lesser known throwback?
Such as
Raziel.
Legacy of Kain.
Soul Reaver.
Soul Reaver. That would be.
I think Raziel's a good fit.
if you put Raziel in, you'd have to put Kane. You can't have Raziel without having Kane. They gotta come together.
Package deal.
So that's like a Roy and Ike.
You
can't have Martha and Roy, or
whatever combination.
Whichever combination. Gotta have both of them.
Yeah.
So that would be hey, Indie Assault. They may want to check out Ida, so whoever owns that property, Kane and Raziel is out there.
I don't think they were in PlayStation All Stars.
No, I don't remember them in PlayStation All Stars either.
Yeah, I don't remember them in there. I remember saying, why aren't they in here?
Oh.
If they are in there, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, they're not.
I don't think they are.
I do not. Those characters are too popular to have been in the game and then no one would have known.
Right.
That's something you just know off top.
Yeah, but I would love to see Raziel and or Kane in Indie Assault.
So now, all right. So Indie Assault is a team. It's one of the first team-based esports platforming fighting games, and the whole ideal is to get people to fight together as opposed to the traditional fighting game scenes, 1v1 fighting and whatnot. What's your thoughts about that? The games 1v1 fighting versus team fighting.
I think team fighting needs to actually be more represented. A lot of the scene is already 1v1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the majority, almost like 99%.
Yeah, the core of the scene is 1v1.
Yeah, so unless you're playing a game like Smash Brothers, you really don't have that team element.
Yeah, there isn't no.
Not even an option for it, and most people opt out of it. So I would love to see a game that enforces co-op fighting.
Yes, and it changes the entire dynamic of co-op fighting because of the way the whole game works as a whole. It's like League. You could play League by itself, but
why would you?
Yeah, why would you? If you play as a team, changes the whole dynamic because of the way the game is made. Now, one of the things that I think that could add to Indie Assault is some of their future game modes. I was speaking to Jared, the head guy in charge, and there's possible future game modes that will borrow from other games to help expand the game's creativity and gameplay for other people. But if we're making a comparison of the game now, what things would you like to see in the game that's probably in some of its recognizable parts, the Street Fighter and your Mortal Kombat, and your Smash Brothers? What would you like to see from another game that would be put in Indie Assault?
Well, let's see. You have mechanics, and I'm just going to list a few from different games. You got the Smash Ball from Smash Brothers. You have the energy gauge from your traditional fighters like Street Fighter and Tekken and all that. The Enrage mode specifically from Tekken. Just stuff like that. It's all good. Specifically, I'm a huge Soul Calibur fan, and in Soul Calibur 2 they had the weapon breaking system, and I would love to see something like that where you could, you could punish your opponent for defending too often and break their defense for a certain amount of time.
But I think that would be. I think that it depends on what type of defense mechanism is put into the game. But I think you can break through the guard in the game based on what I'm playing, because it has, like I said, it borrows from certain elements from all these different fighting games and stuff like that. And if they're doing the stuff like based on what I played on the alpha, in terms of the shielding, then yeah, the shielding should be able to be weakened over time.
See, I didn't block that often when I was beta testing it. I was going in.
You really don't block a lot, because when I play you in Smash, you just be going in.
Roll.
Yeah, the rolling mechanic is actually good. Sometimes that's a better defense than it is to actually sit there and shield something.
Right, it's so easily countered.
Yeah, you can. Oh boy, that was a snap at me, but yeah. Okay, so moving on to the last thing. So let's talk about Citizen X. And Citizen X is a game that's done. Correct me if I'm wrong, by ColorVision. I think that was the name of the game. The production company that does it. I know the gentleman who does it wants me to keep his name, but you guys will see the links for the actual YouTube page on the development of the game. I'll leave those links inside the description so you guys can check that out. But this game is one of the most ambitious indie titles that I know of.
Really?
Yeah, because I've seen the game's construct from literally the beginning. It's in its alpha stage now. Actually, no, it's not in its alpha stage. It's more going along to the beta now.
Okay.
But I've seen the game when it first came out, and the concept of the game is godlike. yes, they built a version of me in the game,
Nice.
but that's not the main reason why I like the game, because I like the game before they even decided to put me in the game. I like the game because of the whole aspect of taking real life things that have happened, conspiracies that's then and now, stuff that's no longer conspiracies, just actually facts now, and they applied it in the game. There's a part in the game with the whole Dakota pipeline thing. They actually have something in the game regarding that, where you have to try to fight to keep the water from being contaminated by the system and whatnot in the game. And you have stuff like you go back in time, ancient Egypt, and some of all of these like shadow governments and illuminated figures who are trying to put things into order to control the world. And your character, the main character, his job is to try to undo all those things to change the times, so that the world changes into a better or worse state.
Oh, see, like I can already see it now. The alternative endings.
Yes.
Oh, so many alternative endings.
Just the concept alone of the game is ridiculous, and it's a whole 3D world and so forth, and like that's a godlike title. Like I said, it reminds me of Deus Ex, but on a grander scale because of the time traveling aspect of it and all the things. It's like in Deus Ex, it's just all this type of stuff that's going on in that particular time that he's in, and the shadow governments and all that other stuff. But this was an ambitious move on them because they decided to apply all of world's history into it. And they even had a thing where they put out a survey to ask people what conspiracies would you like, conspiracies and mysteries of the world that you would like to see in the game.
That's a cool poll.
So by doing that, what they do is open up the entire world to give some input on the game's development, so it's not just a Western based point of view. So it's not like, oh, it's just things based on European history. It's based on world history.
They're hitting it from all angles.
There you go. Exactly.
Now, see, I would like to draw a comparison here. I used to play a game called Fable. I'm sure plenty of you are familiar with the franchise. I played all the games.
Launched on the Xbox.
Right now, now they promised basically that every action that you commit in the game story would affect how the story flows and how it ends. Now, needless to say, they fell a little flat on their promise there. But this game seems like there's no way to fail on that promise. Like I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the end game of this thing. It's like I solve X, Y, and Z conspiracy, and I fail X, Y, and Z conspiracy. What could my ending be? It's like endless possibilities.
Yeah, it's definitely an endless possibility, and I really hope that these games come out. But I would love to see them on the Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
The Nintendo Switch is definitely platform, and because see, you can take these games to play with you. That's the best part about it. This is the thing that makes the Switch so great, especially for indie developers. People can now play your games on the go. So it's not like you're trapped in making a video game specifically for PC, a video game specifically for the handheld, a video game specifically for the console. The Nintendo Switch is a 3-in-1. So you can it opens the audience. It opens the game up to 3 different audience or 3 different platforms. So hopefully we'll see those games in the future. So
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, guys. So this was a short segment on indie devs and on the Nintendo Switch. I hope you guys like the little talk that we have. Give us your point of view about the Nintendo Switch and indie development for it. And we would like to keep following up with segments like this and have more talks based on some of you guys' feedback. So thank you guys for watching. It's Triforce and
Blaque Pauldron.
And we'll see you guys later, okay?